Me Too, it's like, Me Too, it shouldn't cross the line over pandering.
Yeah.
It should be a mutual respect with Me Too. Yeah, everyone
gender
deserves...
divide, but everyone knows that it's a different brain, I suppose.
Yeah,
a different set of responsibilities in society, I think.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you feel like you've been bullied by society, once you get acceptance for it, which they have, don't become a bully as well, because it just defeats the object.
Yeah, it's
and then there's never going to be peace.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There has to be a common ground where people come, meet in the middle and say, right.
It's like when support turns to aggression or defence turns to attack.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a very sort of... It is quite
and then it gets and then they try and justify it. It's like, how can you justify that?
Yeah.
You can't.
No. It's silly.
You can't.
It's like I think that a lot of time, I've always theories about how the world's come about, I think one of them is the whole thing where it becomes corporate and where it becomes kind of ingrained into, what you can and can't say. And I think that's something that I struggle with, because some of the issue, I'll just say one thing that comes in my head, especially when I'm exhausted, if I'm stressed, tired, etc. That's when I make these faux pas. That's when I'll say something, that will kind of get me in trouble. And then, of course, because I'm already tired, and then you have that extra layer of stress, that's when, all the symptoms kick right off. And it's a lot of fun. And I've been fired for stuff like that in the past, thinking, holy crap, am I really this terrible person? But actually, I'm not.
You're not.
And then you turn around and you're like, actually, hang on a minute, that's, symptomatic of what I have. But anyway, the point is that, I think a lot of people will say stuff that they don't mean, but you can't do that anymore. You can't just say, shit, that was the wrong thing to say. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to upset you. I'm really sorry. It's like, if the person who's offended, they've got you by the nads from there on.
Yeah, but it even feels like free speech is limited now.
I got told off the other day for saying an old lady rang me. It was an example for an interview. And I said, an old lady rang me about, rang the paper. And me calling her an old lady, even though she was an old lady, and I was thinking about this on the way over, the person who was advising me, she was from the civil service, recruiter from the civil service, got chatting, and she was absolutely lovely. She was really supportive, and she was we were going through my examples to see if I could make it better. She said, don't use the words old lady. And I was like, that's got to be the weirdest thing. Because I was like, but she was old.
Yeah,
she
but
was
the thing is, though,
anyway.
Yeah, but even bikers and that, but even bikers refer to their wife as their old lady. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's not a derogatory term, but no one...
girlfriends are the misses, and believe me, they wear the trousers.
It just seems like...
there is definitely a power imbalance there.
It's kind of crazy because even at work sometimes you're trying to describe something, like, who's that person, what did they look like, and you're like,
this is why everyone's got anxiety.
I could just simply say they were Asian, but I don't want to say it just in case somebody gets offended. Yeah. So I'd be like describing other things when I could have just said they're Asian, and he would have just immediately know who I was talking about.
Yeah, but what's wrong with saying Asian?
Feeling, isn't it? It's like when
you have to worry sometimes, or just how to describe people.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's what it is. It's like today.
You're black, and I'm fairly sure it's not going to surprise you when you look in the mirror.
No.
This movement is kind of is created like it has created
a lot of anxiety,
especially for kids.
Yeah, it has, and it's like no one can differentiate, a
descriptive fact
of you know what I mean.
It's it's not. At what point does it become racist or oppressive?
I get my height taken the piss out of all the time.
Me too.
All the time. I was like, me too.
So
me
let's
too.
start there. As Mr. Average height.
I get because I'm 5 foot tall.
You know,
right?
actually legally speak. I looked this up because my ex-girlfriend was about your height.
Yeah.
And which is really cute because when you gave me a hug earlier, I was like, oh, it's familiar. But she was great, but she was like 4 foot 9. She was like 4 foot 11 or something like that.
Yeah.
But if you're under 5 foot, then medically you're a midget. Not a midget, but you're deemed as a small person.
Is it? Really?
I
see it more as a superpower than a disability.
How's under 5 foot?
I see it more.
5 foot 4 is disability.
Under 4 foot, under 5 foot, yeah.
I see this more as a superpower than a disability.
I mean, you're the one who can't walk through door frames without doing a little duck and all that.
You can fit into small spaces, right? And
everyone wants to look after you as well.
You can wear you can wear not younger girls' clothes as such, but you can get like trainers, like my crepes. They're half the price of what you pay for an adult. I haven't got them on now. Mate, they're a 4.
You're 4.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Sorry, that's the problem. Is I don't want to patronise you by going, but that's cute.
It's fine. No, but I'm so used to that. It's like I'm not offended by it.
Yeah, exactly. I used to work with disabled people.
I'm not offended by it, and I think to myself, why would anyone be offended by that? I am little.
It's the people who have to deal with it who actually get offended, because it's the whole thing. It's like being offended on the part of someone else's. Yeah, because I used to work with disabled people, and these lads couldn't walk. You had to help them get to the toilet and stuff like that. That's why I was there. I was there as a carer, and it was a tough job.
I used to do care work.
Yeah,
as well.
it does get a little bit. Yeah. I mean, it does get. Sometimes you're just like. Oh.
So 4 foot 9 inches is, I guess.
Yeah,
oh, right.
that's classed as dwarf. Yeah.
But I mean, I found that the bloke who I worked with, the last one I worked with, he was hilarious, and he was like, "Yeah, mate, I know I'm disabled. I could tell. It's like I've been doing this for quite a while now, mate. I've got a little wheelchair to prove it." And he was hilarious.
No,
and I was like, because I didn't really know at first. I was only new to the job, and I was like, how do I, how do I kind of approach? But that came from an anxiety coming from a society that hadn't experienced that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very patronising thing, really. Because, I mean, like...
I suppose it depends... Yeah, I know, but it depends where you take it, where your mindset takes it. If you've got a victim mentality, you're going to see the negative. If you haven't, then you're not going to be bothered by it.
I mean, if I was...
You know what I mean? Who would, like, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Since when did that not become a thing anymore?
I mean, my nickname
is so soft now.
Yeah.
That's what it's so. Everyone's so soft, and it's like.
But the problem is that you get in trouble for not being soft like that. Because I had someone complain about me once because of a silly comment that I made, and it was a joke. It was clearly a joke. Everyone was, and I'm not saying that, but even saying that, it makes me sound like I'm guilty of something.
Yeah.
And I'm not. I mean, I wasn't. They complained about my boss as well the day before, and this person was a serial complainer who was just antisocial. And, they were quite young, but I didn't do anything, wrong or anything. If anything, I actually helped this person a lot. But they say that, but I look back and I'm like, that was really fucked up, actually. Why was I being even...
That's what I'm saying, you're questioning...
someone for saying something that was clearly a joke.
I call that mass gaslighting. Yeah, because they have a victim mindset. And they need to just go and work on themselves and don't worry about what other people say and think. And take it as it is. A joke. You are destroying... Our comedy. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be a time.
And comedy comes from difference as well. Because I mean, it's like, for example, we make a lot of fun. I mean, I wouldn't say we made fun, but you and I talk about being black and white all the time.
Yeah.
And it's a different experience.
But what's wrong with that?
And it's fun. It's something that, first time I met you, I was like, who's this big black guy?
Yeah, but you don't mean any malice by it, same as you don't mean any malice by it. And that's true friendship, though.
But to be fair, though, that was the first time I met him. I didn't know how to take it when I first met him.
Right.
But after getting to know him, then I was like, oh, that's cool.
That's what I'm saying. But you work that out yourself, whereas there's many out there that would say, no, that's fucking wrong.
And there's a lot of stuff that comes from ignorance as well. Because coming from Surrey, didn't have any black friends before, really. I mean, I have 1 or 2, but but that's just the demographic that I grew up in, and it's like. And then to go to university where everyone's a different kind of brown. We lived together at university.
Oh, really?
And he swiftly became one of my best friends. And I was like,
that's what I'm saying. That's
15
beautiful.
years down the line. But one of the reasons for that was just because, because he come around with a joint, and I was like, go on, I'll smoke a joint. I'll smoke weed with a Jamaican person. This is rather fun.
Whereas I'm lucky.
Great.
Yeah, I'm lucky. I grew up where everyone was like mixed. There was black mixed with white, Asians, Chinese. A lot of ethnicities on my estate.
It's a lot of fun.
It is.
And
no, but you know
the
what?
smell as you went down when it was dinner time. Holy fuck!
That's what I'm saying. But the thing is, though, and even in my school, it was just so everyone mixed together. It was a beautiful thing, and I was proud of my country. You know what I mean?
I know it sounds like cliche, but I did used to see race for a long time. I never used to see the
fuck off virtue signaling.
No, but because my school was mixed with a bunch of different people. So my best friend was from Indian. I had black friends. I had white friends. It didn't really matter.
I reckon
to me when I was young.
But
it used to make some of my friends a little bit uncomfortable when we were in Indonesia because we were the only whites for quite a big, we were very much in the minority. And you go through the mall and people would just stare at you. Indonesians, they would just stare unashamedly. And for me, I didn't mind. I just
because they don't see a white person very much.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
It's like we're an anomaly, and they would treat you so well as well because they're like, "Oh, you're like a little celebrity." It was fantastic.
Yeah.
But then other times, they would discriminate against you because you're a white guy, and I would find that a lot of the older people would, especially against our girlfriends. Though they would really go for the girlfriends.
That's what I'm saying. But
there's a difference between the girl who's never seen a white person, wow, you're really tall, I like your sharp nose. And the guy giving my girlfriend grief because she's with a boule, which means white guy. And I didn't really think it was that, but you kind of, that you're different, and that's fine. I mean, that was positive discrimination for the most part, but there was a time when my ex-girlfriend and I were walking down the street, and this guy who was sitting there on the side of the road, chain smoking, starts giving us shit in Indonesian, saying, "Oh, you're a bule hunter." In other words, implying that she was a gold digger because I was white. And that, I think, is racist. I think that
is.
And I wanted to turn around and give him a bit of my mind, but
that's wrong.
At the same time, I thought about it, and I said to her, I was like, "Do you want me to go have a word?" Because I was a bit bigger than him. I was perfectly happy to. I was fucking furious because I was like, not about me.
He probably had a revolver for you.
No. No, he definitely didn't. He was trashy. But then I thought, okay, well, this guy's got nothing better to do with his life. On a Tuesday, when I'm on holiday, on a Tuesday, they sit there and catcall a girl who is beautiful, brilliant, intelligent, and able to have a relationship with someone from a different country. I mean, I'm just like, who's really losing here?
Yeah, it's true. And I think what it all boils down to, really, is like the way I see it, is I don't look at you and define you by your colour. I define you whether you're an arsehole or not.
Yeah, by your character.
Do you know what I mean? That colour don't define arsehole or a good person. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. I don't like.
It's weird, isn't it? And I think a lot of it comes from like a subconscious prejudice, but I think that a lot of it comes from people who are ignorant. And I think there's a difference.
Who have been sheltered.
There's a difference between being ignorant. I mean, I come from like quite a sheltered background, but I feel like, and I'm not trying to put myself in their shoes, but I do feel a lot like there's what we were saying before about the overreaction to your own sort of I've been a tit, but that's okay. You've learned it now. I mean, like it's okay to be ignorant. It's not okay to hate someone for something until you've talked to them or until you understand. Obviously,
that's all part of exactly, and that's all part of learning and growing.
If I want to be an effective security guard, bring an empty revolver. But again, I mean, like most bouncers are also pricks, but still,
they are pricks.
They are, yeah. Power trips, isn't it? They're basically like, because they can't be police.
Yeah.
They're going to do it in another way.
Can I tell you, like, to go off point quickly? I was going